The referee stopped this fight with literally 1 second left on the clock. 1 second. In a world heavyweight title fight, with the challenger still standing, still defending, still fighting back. And boxing just blew up the internet because of it. Okay, let's slow down because if you don't know the full story here, you are not going to believe what just happened. Oleksandr Usyk. If you follow combat sports at all, you know this man. Pound for pound, the best heavyweight boxer on the planet. Undefeated, 25 wins, 16 knockouts. He beat Anthony Joshua twice. He beat Tyson Fury twice. He is, by almost every measure, the greatest heavyweight of his generation and one of the greatest of all time. Now, Rico Verhoeven. Rico is not a boxer. Rico is a kickboxer. The kickboxer, arguably. 12 years as the undisputed glory heavyweight kickboxing champion. 66 wins in that sport. A monster. But a kickboxer walking into a boxing ring with one professional boxing match on his entire record before this to fight Usyk for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world. When this fight was announced, the boxing world laughed. And honestly, who could blame them? On paper, it made no sense. Usyk was supposed to handle this in 4 or 5 rounds, collect his paycheck, move on. The fight was taking place at the Pyramids of Giza in Egypt, which already felt more like a spectacle than a serious title fight. Even the sanctioning bodies were reportedly divided over whether this should count as a legitimate championship defense. It had circus written all over it. But here is where everything changes. Because Rico Verhoeven did not read the script. The fight starts and immediately something feels wrong. Not wrong like a fix, wrong like Usyk is not himself. He looks flat, he looks slow. He looks, genuinely, like a man who underestimated his opponent so badly that by the time he realized what was happening, it was already too late. Because Rico came in with a plan, and he executed it perfectly. High guard, shoulder movement, constant pressure. He was walking Usyk down, using every single pound of that 25-pound weight advantage, bullying the champion into the corners and firing to the body. The guy with the better footwork in that ring, in a boxing match, was the kickboxer. Let that sink in. Round after round, Rico is controlling the pace. He's landing right hands clean. He's disrupting Usyk's rhythm. The DAZN broadcast reveals open scoring, and after 8 rounds, all 3 judges have it even. Even! After 8 rounds of Rico Verhoeven arguably winning the majority of them. Now the commentary team are losing their minds. Fans watching live are losing their minds. Because everyone watching with their eyes can see that Rico is not just surviving, Rico is winning this fight. Multiple observers score it 7 rounds to 3 for Verhoeven going into round 11. This is not a close fight being called for the underdog out of excitement. This is a man who showed up, prepared properly with trainer Peter Fury, yes, Tyson's uncle, and genuinely, legitimately outboxed the best heavyweight boxer on earth for 10 rounds. And then round 11 starts. And for the first time all night, Usyk starts finding something. His uppercut begins landing. You can see the shift. Usyk's legs come back to life. His timing sharpens. And late in the round, he lands a vicious right uppercut that drops Rico for the first time in the fight. The crowd goes insane. Usyk senses blood. Rico beats the count. He's hurt, no question. He's on unsteady legs. He's backed into the corner, and Usyk swarms him with a flurry of punches. Some land, some don't. Rico's hands are up. His guard is there. He is still, and this is the part that matters, intelligently defending himself. And with 1 second remaining on the clock, 1 second, referee Mark Lyson steps in and waves it off. Here is where this story gets even worse. Because the robbery didn't start with the stoppage. It started before the final bell ever rang. The scorecards come out. After 10 rounds, 2 of the 3 ringside judges had the fight dead even at 95 apiece. The third judge had Rico ahead 96 to 94. So even if you gave Usyk that 11th round knockdown, which would have made it a 10-8 round and shifted the card significantly, Rico was still on track to have this taken from him on points. Think about what that means. Rico Verhoeven was getting robbed either way. If the stoppage doesn't happen, the scorecards were already being set up to hand Usyk the decision. Boxing had 2 roads to the same destination, and Lyson just picked the faster one. DAZN commentator Todd Grisham said it live on the broadcast. "What are you doing, referee? What are you doing? Are you kidding me? This is for the heavyweight championship of the world."
The broadcast, the official broadcast of the fight.
The commentators who are being paid to call this event are screaming at the referee in real time. That is how bad it was. And here is the detail that is doing the most damage online right now. Rico was stopped at 2 minutes and 59 seconds of round 11. The round ends at 3 minutes. He was 1 second away from the bell. 1 second away from sitting in his corner for a full minute, recovering, and coming out for round 12 with a chance to close out one of the greatest upsets in the history of sport. Instead, the fight was over. Just like that. The reaction has been absolutely nuclear. And the most remarkable thing is that it is not just the MMA community or the anti-boxing crowd piling on. It is boxing fans themselves. Derek Chisora, a British heavyweight who has been in the sport his entire life, was caught on camera after the fight with no filter, no PR rep, just raw reaction. He said it straight. Rico won that fight, and the stoppage was early. No hesitation. On social media, it has been even more brutal. Pure blatant slimy corruption is one of the tamer takes circulating. People are saying the scorecards are more damning than the stoppage itself. That boxing had the whole thing mapped out before Rico ever threw a punch. Usyk won maybe 3 rounds before the stoppage, is getting thousands of retweets. Everyone else had Rico up by at least 7. And the calls for a rematch started before the post-fight interview was even finished. Turki Al-Sheikh, the Saudi promoter who bankrolled the entire event, stepped into the ring himself and said it directly. Rico deserves a rematch in Holland. The man writing the checks looked at what just happened and sided with the guy who lost. That tells you everything.
Oleksandr Usyk knocks out Rico out in the Pyramids in what might be one of the most rigged boxing matches ever. This fight was never supposed to go to the 11th round. This fight was never supposed to be this close. Rico was not supposed to be winning the overwhelming majority of the rounds. He probably won about 10 of the 11 rounds, give or take. Realistically, 8 rounds. He was never supposed to be doing that. But he fought a great fight, a wonderful fight, and unfortunately, I think it might have been taken away from him. Now, there will be people commenting about the fact that he was on unsteady legs at the end of the 11th. Yes, I completely understand. But you do not take the fighter out of that situation. Let him go out on his own shield. And I know that Rico probably didn't want the ref to stop that. It's like 5 seconds left in the round. It's ridiculous what just happened. Honestly, I put this up there with the Rolly Romero fight. I think it was Rolly whenever he was fighting that old dude and wherever that ref with the flat top stopped it. That's probably the most rigged boxing match ever, but this is up there.
Now here is the part of this story that nobody is talking about enough. Because while boxing Twitter is burning down and commentators are screaming corruption and fans are demanding heads roll, Rico Verhoeven himself walked out of that ring with more class than the entire sport that just wronged him. This man lost his mother during training camp. Let that actually land for a second. While he was preparing for the biggest fight of his life against the best heavyweight boxer alive in his second professional boxing match at the Pyramids of Giza, he got the news that his mother had passed. And he did not pull out. He did not ask for more time. He grieved. He kept training. He showed up. And he put on a performance that had the entire combat sports world questioning everything they thought they knew about boxing. And then they took it from him. His post-fight statement has been making the rounds, and it is exactly what you would expect from a man who has spent 12 years at the very top of his sport. No explosion. No accusation screamed into a microphone. Just a man who knows what happened, knows the world saw what happened, and is letting the footage do the talking. He said he felt he won the fight. He said the stoppage was wrong. And then he said he wants the rematch. He is not broken by this. He is not rattled. If anything, the way Rico Verhoeven carried himself after one of the most blatant robberies in recent boxing history made him look bigger than the sport that just tried to bury him. While promoters were arguing in the ring and Ring magazine guys in gold sequined shirts were grabbing microphones to push the next challenger, Rico stood there, composed, dignified, and undeniable. The official record says Rico Verhoeven is 1-1, but everyone who watched that fight knows the truth, and so does Rico. Here is what I keep coming back to. This was only Rico Verhoeven's second professional boxing match, his second, and he nearly dethroned the most dominant heavyweight on the planet. What does that say about Usyk? What does it say about boxing? Because Francis Ngannou pushed Tyson Fury to the edge in his first boxing match, and everyone said it was a fluke. Fury was out of shape. He wasn't taking it seriously. Okay, fine. But now you have Rico Verhoeven, trained properly, fighting seriously, fully prepared, and he takes Usyk the distance, wins the majority of the rounds, and only loses because the referee stops the fight 1 second before the bell. At some point, you have to ask the question out loud. Is boxing a sport, or is it a business that occasionally looks like a sport when it suits the people running it? Because tonight, it did not look like a sport. It looked like a result that was decided before the first punch was thrown, with a stoppage just being the insurance policy when the plan started falling apart.
Rico Verhoeven's mother passed away during his training camp for this fight. He fought through that grief, came to Egypt, outboxed the best heavyweight in the world for 30 minutes, and got the win taken from him with 1 second on the clock. 1 second. Boxing needs to answer for this one. And until it does, Rico Verhoeven deserves his rematch.